Like Purdue, it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching the Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to a new episode of Backyard Banter. That's Tanner. That's James. I'm Johnny. Incredible sports weekend. It was awesome. We're gonna start with probably the person that's most in shambles this weekend, James. Let me preface this by saying we're talking about the Notre Dame Ohio State game. From a neutral fan, just an awesome college football game, right? Two of the biggest brands, maybe in the entire country, just based on their historical, what they've done for the sport. Notre Dame Ohio State. James, what do you have to say?
You know, it was one of those games where you didn't know where it was going to go at halftime. I mean, 3-0 halftime. Notre Dame misses that field goal. Could have been tied 3-3 going into the half, but again, first of all, to hold them to 3 there before the half was good. It's upsetting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, going into the game, we knew Marvin Harrison Jr. was a stud.
Yeah. Gets hurt though.
Yeah, but he only missed a couple.
But
plays,
they limited him to 3 catches.
But that's the thing. I don't want to discredit him because he's still a top 5 pick in this year's draft. But I think the guy that was guarding him, Morrison, is one of the best in the country. I think he's a stud. I think he's going to be a top pick in next year's draft. I think he's incredible. I think he's a Kyle Hamilton type talent. So we'll see how that progresses. But there's only a couple plays that really frustrated me in the game because otherwise, like you said, it was just a great college football game. And I thought Notre Dame could have maybe done something better offensively. Yeah. But at the same time, Ohio State's D-line did show up and play. But the one play that really pisses me off, and it's what lost us the game in my opinion, was the play there to Egbuka right on the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
You know? That just can't happen. I don't understand why our safeties and our corners are playing 3 yards into the end zone. The goal is to stop them short, right? Yeah. So they were able to catch that ball on the 1-yard line, and he had a hell of a game. He's a hell of a number 2. He's a number 1 on any other team in the country. Yeah. I told Tanner this. I told you this. If Ohio State, like Kyle McCord is not it. I don't care. He had a big win, whatever. He's starting to maybe develop himself into a good college quarterback. But if you have a Justin Fields, a C.J. Stroud talent with this age and incredibly impressive offensive just roster, this team can win a national championship without even thinking about it. But I think with Kyle McCord, they're a little limited. But at the end of the day, you tip your cap to him. I'm not too nervous yet with Notre Dame. Looking at the schedule, it is brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, it is brutal. So, last play of the game, it really hurts.
Yeah. Going Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama kind of have the same thing where they don't have those dominant quarterbacks that they've had for the better part of 6 years. Yeah. Right. I mean, Clemson went to Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. Alabama, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones, Bryce Young. Ohio State, even going all the way back to JT Barrett. So, but McCord definitely took some steps forward. JT, I'm going to butcher his last name. He was the number 1 overall recruit, the defense lineman for Ohio State. Completely took over the game, in my opinion. Though his raw stats, if you look at the box score, I think he had 6 tackles, maybe half a tackle for loss or whatever. He was unblockable. He had the bat down on the screenplay that if he didn't do that, it was a touchdown. Oh, yeah. It was 3-on-2.
Honestly, it could have been a touchdown for him.
Yeah, and he just completely took over the game for him. You look at these stats, Sam Hartman, 17-25, 125 yards and a touchdown. You would have liked more out of he's a 5th year, 6th year now, would have liked more. That's why you go out and get him to produce a little more. But, Notre Dame ran the ball fine, 4.5 yards per rush.
You got 5 running backs.
Yeah,
we played all 5 running backs in the first half.
Yeah. And Ohio State only ran for 4.7 with that 61-yard touchdown they had. So for Notre Dame, who knows? USC might not be as good as we thought. We haven't played anyone. We'll see soon. But that Clemson game doesn't look as intimidating. Still looks intimidating, but not as intimidating maybe before the season.
Sure.
But yeah, still a lot of problems. Very impressed by Ohio State though. It's a gritty.
It is. It answers maybe questions that we had. I still don't think they're as good as we've seen them in the past. But again, this goes to the point with how brutal Notre Dame's schedule is. You can still get in.
Yeah.
obviously it's going to be very hard to get in because you got to win that one, knowing that you still have to play USC, Clemson, Duke this week. Like you've got some games on the schedule. Back-to-back college game days, back-to-back games under the lights. Like I don't know, Marcus Freeman, he's got a heck of a task ahead. I still believe in the regime. I still believe in our offensive line. I still believe in the ability to run the football. I will say there was only one thing I was upset about, and it was when Ryan Day was calling out Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
You can't do that, okay?
Lou Holtz deserves it.
Really. Lou
I
Holtz.
wasn't too charismatic. It's,
But like Ryan Day, what have you done?
When he beat Notre Dame, when Lou Holtz team wasn't tough.
What have they done? What have they done?
Look, Ryan Day's a very good coach. I mean, there's a whole new age of Coach Dan Lanning just did it with Dion, right? Dion's been doing it. It's this is new day and age. Tanner, you haven't said a word, man. What do you?
Well, I was frustrated the game wasn't more high scoring. I was disappointed with Sam
I
Hartman.
thought it was awesome.
It was a great game, great finish. I was very ecstatic with the finish.
Tanner was
that was
freaking
just
out. I was
awesome.
standing right next to him.
That was awesome. But no, I was expecting a little bit more points. Sam Hartman, I was expecting more out of him. Not really impressed with him. Maybe the biggest game of his career, and maybe it's not totally his fault, but he could have played much better. His stat line wasn't impressive really at all. But no, back to your point about Lou Holtz.
I disagree.
When someone comes out and says your team isn't tough, you're not tough enough to win this game, and you're going to lose by more than 10 points, go ahead, call them out after the game, especially when it's someone who's...
Lou Holtz has stuff to back it up, the national championship.
Yeah, but both of you guys' point is whatever. Like, yeah, but Ryan Day, Tanner's right in the aspect that Ryan Day went in and beat him. Should you have called out an 86-year-old that's...
I think he's only 84.
Whatever. I used to watch him when he was on like ESPNU with all that.
Lou Holtz is a dog.
I mean, he's a dog. But last point on Notre Dame, James, I might be mistaken, but I mean they just don't really have a difference maker at wide receiver.
They
Am I
do.
wrong?
They
But,
do.
like,
Jaden Thomas is. The issue is there's like 3 or 4. You're not wrong. Maybe like we don't have a Marvin Harrison.
but
right?
do you even have an Ibuka?
No, because Igbuka's the second best wide receiver in the country. Like, and that's not that crazy to say. Like, you're talking about two.
The dude from Washington right now.
Yeah, yeah. But like when Igbuka's your second option, no, we don't have those 1-2 punch. But we have Jaden Thomas, who isn't being used in my opinion quite yet. But that's not Notre Dame football. Notre Dame football is have a huge offensive line and run the ball. That's what we did, and we weren't able to maybe get those big runs that we've had in the past. I don't understand what you want Sam Hartman to do. He completed 8 passes.
Anytime you only score 14 points, you always look to have more. But anyway, that's enough on that game. I think we should move on to the rest of the loaded street.
We shall.
Slate. I want to go to Florida State Clemson. So an incredibly gritty win by Florida State.
No doubt.
Right? They didn't lead until they scored that touchdown in overtime. The thing that killed Clemson was the fumble recovery for a touchdown. Midway through the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, Klubnik fumbled, touchdown.
Yep.
Right? It was tough. Florida State ran for 22 yards and won.
Yeah.
Right?
They have so many good
This
receivers.
shows that they can win.
Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman's a dog.
Nick
Man.
Wilson. Yeah.
I mean, both of them had over 80 yards. Keon Coleman had 2 touchdowns. Just they kept battling. I don't care how good Clemson, how bad Clemson is. That is a top, whatever environment in college football, at very least top 10.
Oh, yeah.
And to go in there, I don't care if it's a noon game. I don't care if you're playing at 8 a.m. on a Thursday. That is a tough environment to go in and play. And they went in and they won. I don't care that Clemson's kicker, they picked him up on the strip on Saturday and missed a 29-yarder. That's on Clemson.
It is.
Right? This win from Florida State should not be discredited. And they have, no team has a better 2 wins than Florida State. No team. By 2 wins. Maybe someone has a better 1 win. But 2 wins, them beating LSU and going into Clemson and winning is the 2 most impressive wins so far.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was just
That's very impressive.
really impressed that you can only run for 22 yards a play.
I agree with you on your points on Florida State. I've had them number 1 in previous weeks, but I want to talk more about Clemson. I think Dabo Swinney and his refusal to adapt to the transfer portal. It just, if I'm a Clemson fan, I'm frustrated. You got to adapt, man.
For sure.
It's
Keon
not
Coleman transfer.
Yes.
Right?
It's not working, Dabo.
Do you think Clemson could have gotten him? Yeah, probably would have helped, right?
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with you. His rigidness and unwillingness to adapt. What made Nick Saban so good is in the 2010s, whatever, you hand the ball off to Mark Ingram. Trent Richardson, and they'd go, and then it's like, oh crap, that's not the game anymore. Let's spread him out and let's throw. And he adapted.
Yeah.
Right? Dabo has 2 national championships. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, college football Hall of Fame. But Tanner, you're 100% right. His unwillingness to use the transfer portal is going to be his downfall. And I don't know, just an incredibly gritty win for Florida State. Clemson and Bama both gotta have a games, right?
Yep.
Bama won theirs, Clemson lost. Those are 2 of the teams that have run college football for the past 10 years, right? And Clemson failed to get it done at home. We'll see what the rest of the season has for them. If they won out, I wouldn't be surprised. Them beating Notre Dame might be a little surprising, but the ACC, Miami's sneaky good, Louisville sneaky good, obviously Duke, but the rest of their schedule could. Who knows? Who knows how things fall out? Maybe they get a rematch. But James, you have anything to add? That game, can we go into?
No, we can move on. I don't really got much.
I want to talk about Bama real quick. After getting benched, Jalen Milroe he had the one bad pick, but 17 and 21 over 200 yards, a touchdown.
Yeah.
And his dual threat ability, I think sometimes, in a very watered down version like Justin Fields, he bails too much and tries to rely on his legs. But Ole Miss, like, what are they? They're always right there. Never beat Bama. They don't. I mean, does Lane Kiffin have a big win?
That's the thing. They can't solidify that big win. They always set themselves up for a
this was
huge
the time
matchup.
to do it. They play LSU this week. They gotta have that game at home.
Yeah. But at this point, in my opinion, I think their chances are already a little watered down, just because that Ole Miss has like kind of came up out of nowhere as, oh my gosh, they're like a team in the SEC who can compete.
Yeah.
Okay, you look at their wins. Oh, nobody.
Yeah,
right?
no one. I mean, they're a fun team. They won a New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah, and I love the team colors. That baby
and
blue.
Lane Kiffin's awesome. But
Yeah,
Dallas Turner took over the game.
Yeah.
2 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss. I talked about it when we did the SEC preview, that he's the best defensive player, maybe in the country. Yeah. I mean,
He's up there.
Again,
yeah.
we talk about these people that just look different. Another person that just kind of looks different, kind of like a men amongst both boys. But LSU struggled a little bit. I'm sticking to my prediction that LSU will lose 3 or more games. Being on I know it's a rivalry between them and Arkansas, but being at home, gotta win by more than that. And them going to Ole Miss, big game. But let's show the Pac-12 some love real quick. Before we talk about the big. Obviously, Colorado got just destroyed. Washington State, man. Tanner, you're Pac-12 champ, Oregon State. Cameron Ward, my bad. Excuse me. We all picked Oregon State. DJ sucks. He says it not sucks. He's much better than I will ever be at probably any sport. But he's the same as he was at Clemson. We thought he was going to go to Oregon State and elevate them, and they're the exact same. They had more than enough chance. We watched the entire game. We were flipping back and forth between the Notre Dame game, or at least Tanner and I did. And it was just stagnant, right? They go for it on, what was it, the fourth and 3? And he misses them. On the third down before he missed them. It's tough. But Cameron Ward, man, 404 yards and 4 touchdowns.
It doesn't, I feel like, I'm not discrediting Cameron Ward, but I feel like it doesn't matter who Washington State has at quarterback. They just throw the ball around the yard, man.
Yeah, but that was with Mike Leach, man. This is a new system, new coach, and they're going to be in the Mountain West next year. And they're doing this. They beat Wisconsin, who beat the hell out of Purdue. And they beat Oregon State, who's a top 15 team and beat Oregon last year.
Oh, Washington State's really good.
They're a legit team, and that's on us for not highlighting them more. They deserve the credit.
We can eat that one.
Yeah. God, there's a few takes I gotta eat. It was a rough week for me on takes. We'll get back to that later. But any other games you guys want to highlight?
No.
I wanted to talk about Utah a little bit.
Yeah, Utah.
They just keep finding ways to win without Cam Rising.
7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. Against a freshman quarterback, we're talking about Devin Moore. He had over 700 yards, 7 touchdowns, a touchdown coming into that game. 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. Every single time around the game, he was running around crazy, getting sacked. They play Oregon State on a Friday this week.
Yeah.
Who knows with Cam?
Friday night game.
Me too. Who knows with Cam Rising, what's going on there?
But he's got to play, right?
There was only so much you can do. Yeah, he warmed up in the Florida game. Yeah, Cam Rising was dressed against Florida, took warm-ups. Now he's nowhere to be seen. Utah can't go on any further, I don't think, with the limitation of that quarterback. Johnson, I think his last name, Jalen Johnson, maybe. I know that's the NBA player. But he's young, great runner, can throw, but not really the answer there yet.
He's not Utah's quarterback.
He's not, and it's concerning. And maybe Oregon State's not the game, but maybe it's the Oregon, Utah, or USC, one of those games where they need him back as soon as he's able. Obviously, never want to rush him.
I'm just super confused because since week 1 he's been questionable.
Yeah.
He's there, he's practicing, but like he's not playing.
Yeah.
So obviously they're not playing him, right? Like they know how much of a talent he is. So there's something going on there, and I just hope this week is the week he's back because he's great for college football because he's a different kind of talent, right?
Yeah.
He's not your traditional quarterback. He kind of just does weird things.
Yeah. He doesn't look like he can run, but then he pulls off those big runs, and he's just a gamer.
Yeah. Well, it sucks in the fact that Utah's made back-to-back Rose Bowls. They've won the Pac-12 back-to-back years. It's like now for Utah's, from their perspective, it's like, when are we going to break through and make the playoff?
This
you got to get Cam Rising back,
and
this might be their year. I mean, they've weathered the storm so far.
Yeah.
So.
Their defense is good, and they dodged the bullet by playing Florida early.
Yeah.
Got them at home. We got to talk about Oregon, Colorado real quick. Bo Nix over 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, just a beatdown. From the jump, just a beatdown.
Yep.
And people were saying if Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter's not winning that game.
I don't care.
We talked about it. Colorado doesn't have enough in the trenches, and my God, they got dominated in the trenches. Offense and defense line, they got dominated. You can have as much skill position as you want. They got completely dominated. And Deion was the first to admit it. He got up there in the press conference. He's like, "They better get us now. Like they got us." Shout out to Oregon. Dan Lanning was running his mouth, all that stuff, and feel however you want to feel about it.
Well, here's what's funny about it is, if you have Travis Hunter, nice, you might cover the spread.
Yeah. Travis Hunter is not making up for 20 points. They lost 42-6.
You're right. Well, my favorite part about that game was when the Oregon Duck came out with the chain, the sunglasses, and the hat. He was tough.
And Colorado brought that on themselves while talking.
And they were, again, I think ESPN, this is only being highlighted because it's Colorado. Yeah. But like Colorado went on the O before the game and started stomping on it. I'm like,
can't do that.
First of all, at the end of the day, you're still Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, and congratulations, you're still gonna lose at least 2 more games. In
I don't
my
know
opinion.
if they'll. Dude, I don't know.
They might
a bowl game.
The Pac-12 is rough, but we need
it's not a crazy take.
We need to remember before we go crazy and react to one loss. We need to remember where this program was at a year ago. They won 2 games a year ago that were historically terrible.
Yes.
The fact that they're going to get another win, whoever it is, I still think they make a bowl game.
Right?
Yeah, they will, and I still think they'll make a bowl game.
I do too.
But let's not overshadow the fact that they beat a bad TCU team, which we all knew TCU was going to take a massive step back.
Yeah.
And they're not a top 25 team, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's okay for Colorado right now. Year 1 under Deion. If they can get to 7 wins, Deion should be like coach of the year, because that is just incredible. Taking that team that was in utter shambles and getting them to a bowl.
I was just gonna say this was the come back to earth moment for Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay, you look TCU not good, Nebraska
terrible.
Colorado State even worse.
Yeah.
Like you look at Pac-12, is Colorado even a top 7 team in the Pac-12?
They're right on the line.
That's what I'm asking. Like, I don't think they make a bowl game.
I've been talking about this in some of my classes actually this semester and whatnot. I don't think Deion's going to be here long enough to make Colorado a relevant team.
Where's he going to go?
Then now my question to you two: when Shadur goes to the draft or graduates, is he going to stay at Colorado?
I wouldn't see why not.
My answer is God no.
Where's he going to go?
To a big school. To a school that already had a football program that was dedicated to giving them money before Deion came in.
Yeah, but at Colorado he can do whatever he wants. If he goes to a top 10 program, like if he goes,
where's Colorado going to be next year? And
the same spot as
what conference?
Big 12.
So they're going to be in the Big 12. I don't see him being in a Big 12 program being for Colorado. I see him taking a bigger job.
Yeah, but I'm saying that bigger job, I don't think will let him have the control. Let's say Saban retires and goes to Alabama, and they're not going to let Deion do what he's doing now. But anyway, I think we should get into our top 25. Our top 10. My bad.
Top 25.
That's like the second straight week I've done that.
Fresno would be in my top 25.
Yeah, first of all, did you see the Gators, Ricky Pearsall catch? Oh, you got it. We'll
is it the one-handed one?
Yeah, we'll put the clip up here. It was insane.
Little ball was a little high, and one jumps up there and snags it.
But, sorry, I had to get my Gators talking in there.
Go Gators.
Anyway, top 25. I'll start 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
It's all good.
Sorry guys, it's a long day. Top 10. 10 I have Utah. We talked about them. They're gonna have rising back. They're a real contender. 9 we have I have USC. Kind of flying under the radar. Haven't really played anyone. Caleb Williams, still that guy, but just kind of struggled with Arizona State over the weekend. Kind of pulled away in the second half, but 8 out of Michigan. Michigan has been number 2 in my rankings for a while, and they're number 2 in the nation. But I told James this 10. I told you during class when you were making your rankings, we had Michigan at the same spot. I told James this Saturday night after the loss. Through 4 weeks, they have not played anyone. They have not impressed me, and so that's where I stand on Michigan. James.
We're just doing 10, 9, and 8.
Yeah.
10, I have Notre Dame. Yes, it's obviously like I'm a fan, so they stay in my top 10. I don't know where you guys have them.
Probably first or second team out, like right there.
Where do you have them? What?
Honorable mention.
Oh, so like 12, 11?
Yeah, 10, 11.
I just think 12. They haven't done. They lost by 1 play, right? So whatever. They're at 10. Oregon at 9, and a very impressive win. USC at 8. Again, that team. By the way, I'm just gonna say it because you're about to say it too. Michigan still has dudes, and until they lose, what if they go 12-0? Are they still not
They
in
could,
the top
but
4?
right now,
Right now?
through 4 weeks, to me, from what I've seen, I don't like the other teams above them have looked.
The 31-7 win against versus Rutgers wasn't enough for you?
Not really. No.
Yeah, that's
When
probably-
Notre Dame
that's
wins
probably fair.
31 to nothing, not Notre Dame. When Penn State wins 31 to nothing against Iowa, it's a more impressive win.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I have the same exact 10, 9, 8 as Johnny, actually, not just the 8. That's why I was so shocked.
Oh, really?
I have Utah 10, USC 9, 8, Michigan. Same reasoning.
Yeah.
Michigan hasn't impressed me yet.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go
Yeah,
down the
let's
line?
snake it.
7, 6, 5.
Yeah.
7, I got Penn State. Again, more impressive win to beat Iowa like that than Michigan. At 6, I got Oregon. Just beat the brakes off Colorado. Even though I don't think Colorado's a bowl team, still with all the hype Colorado had coming in that game, you make a statement
They
on
beat the
national
hell out of
television.
them,
I mean, you make a statement like that, you got to take notice, right? And then at 5, I got Ohio State, just outside my top 4 right now. So Buckeyes.
Yeah, I got 7, Penn State. Just took care of business. I don't think Iowa's.
They're good, man. Penn State's defense.
It is
really good.
But I don't think Iowa. First of all, I don't even know.
It's not.
I don't even know if Iowa deserved to be ranked.
This Iowa's offense is better than last year. And
congrats.
say whatever you want to say.
Literally the worst offense.
Cade McNamara won a Big Ten championship with Michigan. I don't care what you say. He was a quarterback on a Big Ten winning team.
Sure.
So he's at least.
But your take about it being better, like they literally won a football game. What was it, like 7-3? Like
that was last year.
I know, but yeah, congratulations, they're better. Like,
Congratulations, you put up
offensively
7
better.
points on Celtics.
Nice.
That's not true. Was the Penn State victory more impressive than the Michigan victory?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Okay. What was your 6?
6 Washington took care of business. 5 Ohio State. They're still not sneaking into my top 4 yet. I need to see more out of Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
We'll see.
7 I have Washington. Yeah, I don't know. They haven't really played anyone. It's been really impressive. Michael Penix leads the country in passing yards, but they haven't played anyone. So we'll see. They play Oregon coming up here within 3 weeks, so that'll be fun. 6 out of Oregon. I've been on the Bo Nix hype train. I picked him to win the Heisman in the preseason. I picked him to win the Pac-12, so none of this really surprises me out of them. 5 out of Ohio State. Same reason as James.
Hey, we're all
McCord just hasn't done for me. I'll go straight to my top 4. 4 out of Penn State. I'm very high on Penn State, and until I think Drew Aller, he was a top-rated quarterback a few years ago. Their defense can really play.
Yep.
Like they're good. 3 out of Florida State. They have the 2 best wins out of anyone in the entire country through 4 weeks, and only rushing for 22 yards and winning is incredibly impressive. 2 out of Texas. Probably has the singular best win in the country. They beat the hell out of Baylor, took care of business, and 1 I have Georgia. They keep improving every single week. Ever since halftime, South Carolina. That was their switch, and now I think they flipped it on. And if I'm anyone, I don't want to see Georgia.
No,
right now, any team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Florida State's at my 4. Again, just taking care of business, right? Like winning the games that are on your schedule. For Michigan, it's easy games. For Florida State, it's tough first couple,
Yeah.
but taking care of business. Florida State 4, Texas at 3. Again, they're going to run through their conference.
The Big 12,
the Big 12
is
shambles.
sorry.
The Big 12 is
So
shambles.
sorry.
So They're going to run through their conference. The game they needed to win was Bama, and they won the game.
And they get Oklahoma next week, the week after this.
I think Oklahoma can beat Texas.
And they can, and that'll be a great.
And they'll probably play twice.
Yeah,
so.
Great talking point. So, 2, I still have Michigan. I know you guys disagree, but until I see them literally like maybe just barely win, or if they lose, they're probably going to be in my top 3 just because of the fact that their roster is so good. And I think you just get your coach back. You're still trying to figure out some things. So I still have Michigan at 2 and Georgia at 1.
My 4 and 3 are flipped from last week. I moved Georgia down to 4 and Florida State up to 3 again. Florida State has a collective 2 wins that I think is more impressive. And I still have a lot of respect for Georgia. At number 2, staying the same from last week, Washington. I mean, they are like, you can talk about who they played or whatever. They're putting up 2019 LSU numbers on offense. And Michael Penix is the Heisman, not even close. And that one I got Texas. Best win in the country so far. So yeah, that's my top 4.
We're going to get to NFL now. We're recording this before the Monday night games. So we have to talk about the Dolphins. I picked Denver to win, and I said on this podcast, and that might be the worst take ever, like of all time. Because not only did they lose, they lost by 50. And you think, oh, they lost by 50. No, they scored 20 points and lost by 50. Because the Dolphins scored the most points in the game since 1966.
In the National Football League.
It was like backyard football. Do you know what team has the most points ever?
Of course I do.
The Chicago Bears. God, they might not hit 70 points this season.
And you know what?
And they did it in one game.
The Dolphins could have tied the record.
And they didn't. Yeah, very class by Mike McDaniels, who used to be the ball boy for the Broncos. Just a beatdown. Let me read you some stats. Devin Achane went to A&M last year. You know how many fantasy points he had last week?
50.
No, before that, the week before.
Probably
One.
Yeah.
You know how many he had? 51. 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's just on the ground. Tyreek Hill, over 150 yards. Maybe 2 touchdowns. Who knows? They scored 30 of them. Everyone scored. Raheem Mostert.
I just traded for him.
Yeah.
I had to face this guy in fantasy,
Yeah.
and I look at his flex, and Raheem Mostert's in his flex.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 total touchdowns.
I mean, it was in the Broncos defense. I think only had -2 on fantasy.
Impressive.
They should get banned. Oh my goodness, they traded a 1st and 2nd round pick for I'm blanking on Sean Payton.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing.
You ready for this though?
Huh?
Their offense looked pretty good.
20 points.
20 points isn't bad in the NFL.
It's not good.
It's not bad. Jerry Jeudy looked pretty good.
Like Corlin said,
Russell Wilson threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah, and you have to when you're down 50. Gotta get something back.
I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off my point last week. Tua's gonna win the MVP.
Yeah, and you got some hate for that take, and my goodness.
And guess what? The Dolphins are moved up thanks to the Cardinals beating the Cowboys. Dolphins are moved up to my number 1
We should
team.
talk. We should talk. Yeah, keep going.
I was gonna piggyback,
Yeah.
kind of 2 points into something else. But in 2021, or no, off-season 2022, the Bears didn't even bring in Mike McDaniel for an interview, right?
Eberflus.
Now look at Mike McDaniel, and now look at the Bears.
Yeah.
And the team that Mike McDaniel was a ball boy for is probably the only other team in contention for worst team in the league right now, the Bears. And they play each other.
They play each other this week.
And I can't wait to.
I don't know you're still a Bears optimist because they play no one the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And whatever, but my God, they are terrible. This was the worst week in Chicago Bears football history, maybe.
Oh,
all the stuff that happened with their defensive coordinator, and Justin Fields barely throwing for 100 yards. And look, the play calling is terrible. But I watched a YouTube or TikTok. I should have sent it to you guys. And it's like on 3 straight plays, Justin Fields missed a combined 9 throws that he could have had. And it's bad that he went backwards from last year, and the coaching staff's not doing him any favors.
Yeah.
None. But
and when he throws his best throw since he's been in the league to DJ Moore down the sideline and he drops it.
I mean, it was embarrassing, man. Tanner was talking about, man, Bears. I've never been more confident in the Bears this season.
Bears money line.
And my goodness, they got smoked. And they play the Broncos on Sunday. You would have to pay me to watch that game. That is going to be terrible. Oh my goodness.
You know what's going to happen in that game?
The
Broncos are going to smoke us. like here's the thing. You ready for this? Justin Fields is really bad, right? But the 6-7 score said this perfectly. Which one's worse, Justin Fields or our defense?
Yeah,
it's 1A and 1B.
Because Justin Fields still has everything there, right?
The Bears are home underdogs to a team that just gave up 70 points.
Yeah. So you would think Justin Fields would have some sort of success. Maybe he'll throw for more than 300 yards.
You know when they used to burn LeBron James jerseys?
Yeah. You're going to burn a Fields?
I would burn a Fields jersey.
No.
Because you know what? He is awful.
Yeah.
I don't care what I told you today.
Yeah.
If the Bucks are willing to take me in for the season, I'm ready to jump
James
on board.
Because
you know the Chicago Bears suck. Okay,
It's awesome.
It's a poverty franchise. Okay, last week I was like whatever about it. Like the shirts going around that say Dapressed instead of
That's awesome.
Like, and that's what we are. Like I'm wearing a Chicago Blackhawks shirt because I didn't want to wear the Bears 50 shirts I have in there.
It's been rough for you guys because Purdue got ran on Friday, and then thank God the Cubs swept the Rockies whoever they played, and then the Bears they showed more of Taylor Swift than the Bears offense. There's more Taylor Swift highlights than Bears first downs.
And now I'm definitely not a Swiftie because of it, and
I love
it was really frustrating.
Don't make me start singing. I'll start singing.
I've given up because here when I watch the Bears, you know what I think? I think it's 22 versus 11 because they get to
Sorry, I got Taylor Swift.
They get to Justin Fields faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. You watch any other college football, sure, any other football game. Doesn't it just look like they're inept? Like from left guard to
their offense is anemic.
Trainer to
pull out all the big words
to Jordan McCaskey to everything.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about the Bears.
No. Final statement.
The Bears
are going to win.
You have 6 games up there. If the Bears will not win 2 of those.
The Bears have one last chance to do something Sunday. If
Literally
not,
saw him right
blow it up.
What do you mean blow it up? I'm already blowing it up.
They have one last chance. If they win Sunday,
then what? They beat the second to last.
And then look at the rest of the schedule after that. If they win Sunday, they can win a couple more
Read the schedule. Go ahead.
So they play the 0-3 Broncos. 4-47 are at home.
Lost.
0-3 Broncos. The 2-1 Commanders who should not be 2-1.
Lost.
0-3 Vikings at home.
Lost.
1-2 Raiders at home.
Maybe win.
The Raiders
Chargers. 1-2 Chargers.
Lost.
Saints. Lost. But then the Panthers at home.
Who we might lose to.
Lost.
I'm sorry, but
You
there's
should
still
win
a
2
lot of
games out
time to
of
figure it out. I don't think they will. But on the off chance they win,
You ready for this? One more thing. Justin Fields is in year 3, right? CJ Stroud is in game 3. CJ Stroud's already thrown for 900 yards.
Yeah.
Give me a quarterback who can throw the football down the field.
Can we stop and sing Taylor Swift for a little bit?
No, because you know what?
No, because I'm miserable. I just looked at her face. It's not even that pretty.
She's
oh
awesome.
my gosh. Now he's
started.
talking about Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift is
And
beautiful.
how beautiful she is.
All right,
Jeez.
we're not talking about the Bears anymore.
No, ever again. They're banned from this podcast. Like we
Please.
Unless
Go
they
Bucks.
win the
Go
toilet bowl
Bucks.
next week.
Go
Anyway,
Bucks.
Baltimore and Dallas both got upset.
Yes.
The Dallas one, very bad, going to the Cardinals. Joshua Dobbs, man. When we did our predictions, we didn't even mention the Cardinals because my response was Joshua Dobbs is their quarterback, 2-15. They should be 3-0. And, shoulda, coulda, woulda, whatever. They've looked really good. Gardner Minshew went in and beat the Ravens in maybe the ugliest game I've ever seen. There was a blatant hold on the fourth. It was fourth. They went for it on 4th down. Blatant hold that the refs missed, but my God. But James,
So,
talk about your curse.
all right. So
2 weeks ago, you said.
and here's the thing.
Trevor
I
Lawrence
can
was the second best.
recap. Okay. I'm not gonna look at you and tell you guys that I think my take was that bad because I do think Trevor Lawrence at that point had an argument for being the second best, questionable around 3 others. Right? There was clearly a best, but that 2 through 5 was a little questionable, and I think you put Trevor Lawrence in there. I think I cursed him, and I'm so sorry, Trevor, because
he's throwing 1 touchdown.
maybe 1 touchdown and combined
he threw it
300
at
yards.
Christian Kirk.
It was he's not playing.
Say he's
great
not
right
a top
now.
10 quarterback, and he's going to go off next week.
But he is a top 10 quarterback, so I can't say.
Anyway, but
Here, Trevor, you're no longer in my 2 spots.
Exactly. But the funny part is, since then, Josh Allen looked incredible. Justin Herbert went 40 of 47, 405 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Kirk Cousins,
they gotta have a game.
Kirk Cousins isn't looking bad.
No, would the Jets need to go trade for Kirk Cousins. Man.
Well,
That's what I have written down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that'd be. That'd be something.
No.
We banned that. We banned that too. I totally agree because you know why? I've been talking with Bears just for 10 more seconds.
God.
You know why the Bears aren't the laughingstock in the NFL right now? I mean, they kind of are. But the Broncos got beat by 50, and Zach Wilson's in the league. So, like...
But he won a game. Zach Wilson won a game.
The defense won a game.
The
defense won the game.
He's handed it
The
off.
defense
He won
won
a
the
game.
game.
He's terrible. But my God, yeah. But Kirk Cousins, man, he needs something. They even ran it better.
They did.
Yeah, it was bad. And
Justin Jefferson finally got in the end zone.
I have a team I'd like to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
My AFC North preseason champs, Pittsburgh Steelers.
First of all,
are in first place.
before you go, the Steelers suck.
No, they don't.
The Raiders are terrible. The Steelers defense is really good. Kenny Pickett, he had that 170-yard bomb. I sat there and watched that entire game.
He's getting better.
They cannot run the ball worth anything. I don't even know if Najee Harris has over 100 yards in a year so far.
He is awful.
Kenny Pickett improved from week 1 to week 2, and he improved from week 3 to week 2, and he's going to improve
From week
again.
2 to week 3.
I don't know what I'm saying, but he's
I literally have
improved
right
every
here.
single week.
Steelers versus Raiders was the biggest mid-off. It was. we said that earlier for the Broncos
What a
Raiders game.
terrible Sunday night football.
Terrible.
First place.
And we understand it is
Oh my
it is
God.
probably 2 of the 3 biggest brands in the NFL. They played all those times in the 70s when all of us were clearly watching, and they were fun, right? Terry Bradshaw, the Steel Curtain, and
Look at you
Ben
in
Roethlisberger.
NFL
Come on now, bro. We take it way back.
Come on.
Ben Roethlisberger was cool for a second. Heinz Ward.
He was cool.
All those
First
people,
place
but-
Steelers.
Yeah, but they won't stay there for long. I want to talk about the Packers coming back and beating the Saints. A gritty Jordan Love fourth quarter performance.
Oh, I
man.
mean-
He showed out. Like, you can say whatever he wants. He went from being so incredibly bad the first 3 quarters to making 2 really good plays. You can hate on it all he wants. He is 2-1. You wish Justin Fields was Jordan.
I was just about to
You're
say.
darn right I do. I mean, Jordan Love's doing things that a quarterback should do. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jordan Love. Way to actually follow through, have time in the pocket, make a correct decision,
still thinking
run
about
what you're
Taylor
supposed to run. But at the end of the day, I said it today, the Packers are the luckiest team ever. Derek Carr goes out. Derek Carr wasn't playing great, but he was doing enough to win that game. They were going to score another touchdound, and then Jameis comes in, and he's like, I forgot how to play football. What
I'll tell you,
what
man,
are we
tonight.
doing? He was so god awful.
I love him.
He was so bad, and then of course they missed the field goal.
Yeah.
It's like a free throw. Just kick the
It
field
was
goal.
46 yards.
Don't
An NFL
care.
player
Are you making
that's-
that?
You start paying me millions of dollars. I'll find a way to put that
I
ball
make that
in the upright.
50% of the time when we go on.
I don't think so.
I
Don't think so. In fact, if you want, we'll post on TikTok you trying a 46-yarder. And when you're 15 yards short.
Oh, we gotta post the TikToks first.
Obviously the Bears being this bad just takes the life out of you.
Stop talking about
And
the
then
Bears.
Packers being that good is just
That
the
good is
absolute.
crazy. That good
It's
is
just
crazy.
the absolute kick in the nuts.
I told you before the season started there was one quarterback in this league that was going to be good, or in this division, and it is because Jordan Love has absolutely nothing to lose.
Jared
And sure
Goff
enough,
is awesome.
he's going out there and playing well. He is playing well. Do I think he's going to be a Super Bowl champion at some point? Probably not.
probably will be.
I know he'll beat the Bears every year.
He'll beat the Bears twice a year.
But yeah, that's it on NFL.
We're in shambles.
Any other
We're in
games that
shambles.
stand out to you?
Go Bucks.
No.
Go
Da Bucks.
Go Bucks.
It's the Bucks.
Dapressed.
That was awesome. We're gonna get into a little MLB now. Last week of the regular season, there was nothing better than freaking the same day where there's an MLB playoff game, a college football game, the NHL, NBA starting. We're entering through into the best time. And Tanner, you can go and give us a little.
Yeah, we're gonna start in the American League. So the Texas Rangers have
Came
come
out of nowhere. Did you say they were
Nowhere.
going to make the playoffs?
I am wrong. I said they would miss the playoffs. They are now in first place by 2 games.
They turned it off,
Oh,
man.
man.
Oh, man.
And in the comments on that short, people were like, "This isn't even a hot take. They're going to miss the playoffs." You guys are wrong.
Ooh.
Not me. You guys.
Not Tanner. Tanner gets paid the big bucks.
So they are up
Remember, get
by
your money
2
back.
games. They will clunch probably this week the American
How
League
about
West.
first of all, shoot. How about the Astros losing, getting swept by the Royals.
The Royals.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
It's
man.
terrible.
Yeah. So Seattle's on the outside looking in right now. They're chasing Houston down by half a game. Seattle plays Houston and the Rangers. It's like Seattle has everything in front of them
They
still.
control their own destiny.
And Houston, man, they're just holding on. And like I said, they play Seattle and then they play the Arizona Diamondbacks to end it. So that kind of leads us into the NL wildcard race, where the Cubs are tied with the D-backs for the second wildcard spot and have a 1-game lead over the Marlins for the last playoff spot.
Are you a Cubs fan?
Potentially. Arizona plays the White Sox and Astros. Miami plays the Mets and the Pirates, which the Pirates are playing well right now. And they have to play Kodai Senga against the Mets. However, the Cubs, I mentioned that 1-game lead. No tiebreakers over the D-backs or Marlins. We don't have a tiebreaker. We play the Braves and the Brewers.
Yeah.
So
slate.
that's the MLB.
We're screwed.
We might be.
Yeah. For the division, the Rays again decimated by injured. Brandon Lau out for the playoffs, broke his kneecap. Both Randy and Yandy left the game early over the weekend. I'm hoping and praying that the Blue Jays don't get the second wild card. They'd probably beat the Rays right now, but we'll see. It's going to be a sprint to the finish, right? A six game sprint. I don't know. Probably every team has around 6 games left.
Yeah.
Just a sprint to the finish. It's going to be awesome, especially the AL West.
Yeah.
Baseball's an incredible time right now,
It's awesome.
but it's so stressful.
So stressful.
Right? Like, whew, I want to watch the Cubs in October. Luckily, we will. No matter what.
No matter what, there's one game
in October. October 1st, the Cubs play the Brewers.
And the Cubs will not make it.
We talked about going to the game, and who knows? You can't. You're going to the Bears game. Aren't you going?
I wanted to.
How much
Aren't you going to the Bears Broncos?
I wanted to. I don't think I am.
How much you get those tickets for? $4?
Bro, they're still $220.
Are you serious?
I swear to you.
All right. Well, we're not even.
So I'm not going.
We're not going near the Bears again. We're gonna go
No,
we're gonna go to Legendary and in Shambles right now. There are so many in Shambles. Just
I can't
from
really
what
think
we've
of
talked about. So just from what we've talked about, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go with the Notre Dame defense. Only having 10 players on the field on the final play. That's a gotta have it play. It's something with like what Florida did with punt return, only having however many players having 2 number 3s. There's no one play, it was 2 plays. Someone's got to recognize that. There has to be a timeout called, and it just can't happen.
No timeouts.
Oh my God, whatever. Something in between the incompletion, because it wasn't a run play, it was an incompletion. 3 seconds left. Then you got to have 11 players on the field. It's not excusable. But
That was bad.
Yeah.
I agree. You can go in you're in Shambles. I just have to think of one.
There's so many in Shambles.
I want to pick a good one.
I'm not gonna go with the Clemson kicker. I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
We're back to the Bears.
Duh.
Dapressed.
6 Dapressed times 2 times 3 times 5.
That's 400. Never mind.
16 straight losses. You've given up more.
So much worse.
You've given up more than
I've lost
25
16
points in every single game with a defensive head coach. You've spent all 4 second-round picks since hiring the new GM on defensive players. You've spent an additional 4 more third and fourth round picks on the defense since the new GM. You spent $90 million in free agency on the defense, and you have given up more than 25 points. 16 straight games.
Sorry, I'm singing Taylor Swift because she's more relevant in football than the Bears.
Yeah, now let me get into my legendary moments.
What?
So you need to say Shambles.
I'm in Shambles.
Alright.
You were in Shambles.
And that's my in Shambles this week. Me. Okay, not as bad as Tanner's week that one time where I called him out. But 2 of my teams lost. All 3 of yours
James
lost.
is in all black because he's mourning the loss.
I'm wearing gray shorts.
Shout out
I'm
Mama
wearing gray
Shields.
shorts.
Father James.
But anyway, you know, it's a tough loss, right? Bears is exactly what he just said. The fact that we've lost 16 in a row, and I've sat down and watched all 16 of them, really hurts.
All right, legendary.
Well, then Notre Dame losing, whatever. My legendary is Travis Kelce.
Awesome.
You were gonna go there? Well, good, because I'm glad.
I was actually going to say Taylor Swift because she's pulling him.
Bro.
Like, he is the prize in the relationship, the way I see it.
That's Friday.
You know, a lot of people would disagree with you on that take.
Yeah,
All right,
Swifties are nuts.
what do you got?
Just
What do you got,
go.
Tanner? What do you got, Tim?
Legendary, I'm going to go with Ronald Acuna, the first MLB player to ever have a 40-70 season. That is 40-plus home runs, 70-plus stolen bases. If he didn't already have the MVP locked up, he has it now. Ronald Acuna, legendary. Legendary moment, legendary season.
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path. I'm going to go to the U.S. women's soccer team. Julia Ertz and Megan Rapinoe both played their final games. You can say what you want about Megan Rapinoe, but especially Julia Ertz, you know, winning 2 World Cups.
Married to Zach Ertz?
Yeah, married to Zach Ertz. Winning 2 World Cups, big goals all the time. Just, I mean, they're, you know, legends for the sport. I know last World Cup, Megan Rapinoe was not good
God-awful.
and said a lot, talked a lot after the first one. But regardless, you look at the resume, 2 legends, and yeah, definitely some, gotta show some love.
American love,
Yeah.
I love that.
And anyway, that's going to do it for us today. If you have any questions for us, leave those in the comments. We'll get to them, whether it's on a short or on a YouTube video. We're going to try to do better at those. Or TikTok, hopefully. Shout out, we hit 100 subscribers. That was huge for us. Thank you to everyone's support. Shout out to Lauren who posted on her story, all of her friends to subscribe. But I mean, we're going to keep doing it 2 times a week for however long it lets us. And
until ESPN calls us and they're like, "Hey, you guys want to have a backyard banner?"
I'm going to Fox.
Fox.
No, you guys are going to
CBS.
I'm going to
CBS.
Tanner, where are you going? Barstool?
I'll probably just retire.
But anyway, thank you guys for all the support and always listening. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you Thursday after a Bucks win.
Go Bucks.
The Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Clip that part out.
Go Bucks.